Hi, my name's Jeff Raffoff, and I'm one of the pastors at West Lawn United Methodist Church. And I'm sitting in the back corner of my basement today because of the theme for today's Stump the Pastor installment. The picture comes, I believe, from Pam and Del Berger, and it's of a couple of items of Coca-Cola. Now, I happen to have a few Coca-Cola items around my house, some of which are behind me, one of my 4 Coke machines and a couple of other Coke chests and such. But I happen to have that toteable, portable Coke cooler, and I have a couple of other items of Coca-Cola around the house. So I was delighted that I drew the straw to talk about this today. And this is sort of an easy one. I mean, you've been pretty good to us, folks, those of you who have submitted pictures. I want to say thank you for that. You've been very gracious. And of course, we can talk about Coca-Cola as the real thing. And of course, Jesus Christ is, in our minds, the real thing. We could talk about the author of Hebrews, who wrote that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. And we could talk about the very words of Jesus, where he says, I am the way and the truth and the life. Okay, so he never said, I'm the real thing. But we do know that Jesus is the real deal. And Jesus is the embodiment, the revelation of the very nature and character of God. Jesus is God in the flesh. And so when I think of Coca-Cola, yeah, I do think beyond the brown, syrupy, sugary drink, I think of sometimes of Jesus Christ. I think of how Jesus is so very real in my life. And quite honestly, during these times of pandemic, stay-at-home orders and such, the reality of Jesus has become so much more important in my life, as I'm suspecting for some of you, it has in yours as well. We need to know that Jesus Christ is the real deal, the real thing, and treasure that relationship that he offers to us. Treasure it always. But I do want to say there's one other thought that came to my mind when I first saw this. Yes, of course, we could talk about Jesus as the real thing, just like Coke is the real thing. But I also thought about collections and stuff that we tend to accumulate. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't know if you can see in the one Coca-Cola cooler display behind me, but there's all sorts of things there. And I have collected a lot of Coke stuff over the years. It may not have much value, but I liked Coca-Cola. And so, whether it's a t-shirt or an old bottles from around the world, my wife would tell you some of which have started leaching out and that Coca-Cola syrup getting everywhere. Sometimes it can be a mess. But the other thing that I would share about collections is sometimes we get so wrapped up in the accumulation of stuff, whether it's a Coca-Cola item or a Penn State or a Phillies item or a sports memorabilia piece that I like to have in my basement. All of these things, they're just things. And as Cheryl and I discovered when we had to help clean out my parents' house many years ago, and then her parents' house more recently, our kids don't want our stuff. It's just stuff. And unless it's very unusual and of great value, most people don't have an interest in the stuff that we collect. Each of the synoptic gospels records Jesus as saying something like this: what will it profit them if they gain the whole world but forfeit their life? Or what will they give in return for their life? That was Matthew 16:26. The same passage is pretty much repeated in Mark 8:36 and in Luke 9:25. What will it profit you or me if we collect a lot of stuff, but we don't come to know Jesus Christ in a personal and saving way? I remember as a teenager hanging out at the beach one summer. A friend of mine took me with his family down to the beach, and somebody along the boardwalk at Ocean City, Maryland, gave me a little business type card, and it basically said this: if you meet me and forget me, you've lost nothing. But if you meet Jesus Christ and forget him, you have lost everything. Friends, I don't know what stuff you collect. I don't know what things you put great value in, but there is nothing more valuable, nothing more critical for you to know and love and embrace than a relationship with God made possible to us through Jesus Christ our Lord. He is the real thing. And I wish for you that kind of saving relationship, that kind of personal relationship. And I wish for you that God may be with us until we meet again.